Hey, Brian from GarageMahal, and today I have a VEVOR chest machine, and you can do your back with it as well. I'll show you how it works, but this is the size box just to kind of give you an idea. It's kind of like a two-person team lift, so when this shows up to your housework or wherever you're getting it delivered to, just be prepared for that. So let's open this up and see everything that we get inside. And so far it looks like it is very well packed. So we'll get those cut. And it looks like it's going to be kind of like a clamshell kind of box where we're going to have to cut around the tape, and then we're going to lift the box top up off to expose the contents. And hopefully my work table here will be large enough. If not, I have a little bit of a sawhorse here on the side to kind of help if it goes off the table, because I'm sure it's probably going to be a little tall. So that'll be good working on my lift, so we can raise it up and down, work on the low parts, work on the high parts, and then kind of go from there. So that is the box. So let's flip it up again. I'll push this forward a little bit and then back down. So that is the box open. Slide that underneath my table. And it's got some various foam pieces to it. Let me try to get some of those out. So that is your installation guide so far. And then give you a peek at what the contents look like. So let's get some of these pieces. Looks like we have some more tape. Okay. So here is some cabling and some collars and some pulleys. So we'll get to that in a second. And so that is marked Q. It's one of your foam pad pieces. And I'm just going to line them up against here, just because it looks like there is going to be a lot to this. So that is your bolt package and tool. However, I like that it comes with some wrenches, but I'm probably going to use my own. I'll give you an idea of what they are as we go through them. What size? So that's pad R. Part L. Part N. That looks like another seat pad piece. Put the seat pad on. So we'll put that over there. And this is marked as KA. And I'll put them on the floor kind of back here out of the way. So one, we have enough space that we can spread this out and do everything. That's JB. Looks like another adjustable seat pad holder. That's M. Looks like that's KB marked. That looks like part F, but that looks like the weight carriage. So that should be easy to identify. Here's JA. So you have JA and JB right there. Part H. And it looks like that might be the top piece. Not 100% sure, but we'll go through everything slowly but surely. So that's part A. It's one of the colored pieces. C. That looks like that's going to be another bottom piece as well. And then these are to make it from 1 inch to Olympic standard plate size. So that's a good piece to have handy. So it's cool. So if you have 1-inch plates, you can use that. Or if you have Olympic plates, you can, convert it. So here's another part C. Part D, which looks like one of the longer posts. We'll put that there. And then part E. So very nicely labeled. And I think I'm going to slide this box piece out of the way. Cool, did not hit the light, it's part of my goal. So let's get this instruction manual to you and we'll see exactly what all is entailed. So that is your chest press machine picture. So it's your parts list. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. So it goes together pretty quick. 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, and then you're done. So okay, put some of these pieces off on the side here so we got some room to work. I'm going to cut these tools out and just kind of get this piece working. Oh, and there's an Allen key with it as well. So you get 3 tools, and it looks like they're marked 14 and 17, and that one's not marked. So we'll figure that out. And we'll see if the Allen key is embossed, which I don't see anything on, but it's an Allen key, comes with it. We'll probably end up using that one. So first things first. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be getting base piece A, and then probably part C, looking ahead here. So 2 parts C, part A, which is like your base that goes across the bottom. Parts B, which look like some brackets. And it looks like it's probably in here. We have some miscellaneous pieces in here. Comes with ring holders to hold the weights. Ring holders, weight holder. Okay, and then B is going to be these smaller brackets here. So we'll take them out. Get them ready to go. And parts 1, 8, 2, and 9. 1, 2, 8, and 9. So let's get these out. So 4 number 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then some of the small washer bits. All right, so the nuts are 17, as well as the bolts are 17s. So we get this situated. I said, do a little bit of cheating. All right, so let me get this kind of spread out here a little bit. Let's get this unwrapped. So I'm just looking at this, see if there's a right way up, right way down. Doesn't really look like it. Looks like this might have some scratches on it, so we'll put that down at the bottom. All right, so we're gonna line this piece up here, and then this is the outside bracket. So that kind of sandwiches in between. And again, we're gonna put the bolt in the washer, put that through on the outside. Line it up here on the inside, and then washer, and then a nut. And then same thing on this side. Okay, and you'll get a better feel for it on that side, but I'll show you how everything hooks up. So that's sandwiched in between. Let's move on to the other side. Okay, so close-up look real quick, how that is supposed to look. And here is our part D. Okay, so this looks like this is going to be a little tricky because it has a little bit of an angle on it. So I assume it's going to probably go like this, and then you get that angle piece up there. So it looks like it's pointing in towards the frame. Kind of hard to see to get a good angle on that, but so that's what that will do. And this is going to be a slide bar. Contraption looks like. Let's get that in the right orientation. Looks like that's going to go like this. So let that slide down. Hit the stop. Okay, so we got that, we got that. So we're going to need 4 washers. Number 10. So it's going to be these big washers here. I think that's everything. So it looks like we are going to be placing these carriage bolts up through these holes. I think I'm going to work on doing one side at a time. I think that might work out for the best. And then kind of pull up on them, and they'll kind of like slide into their little holes. You might have to twist them a little bit. Okay, so it is the smaller washers. The directions are a little kind of mixed up on that, but let's get this piece up in place first. And again, it has some bolt holes that go through that. So that is the correct orientation. So this is going to be angled like this. Okay, so you can see some of the smaller holes here. Then there's no holes all the way at the top. So my delusion is that can be some of the seating. And make sure we have that the right way. which I think we do. The seat pad will probably go up there, back pad up here. Okay, so I'm going to put a washer on each point, and then a nut on the other side. Okay, so that's pretty good, pretty nice and solid. So let's go into the other side. I'll get this other piece in. Make sure we have that with the right orientation, which I think we do ahead of time. But let's go bring it over. And a little, I call it finger gymnastics to kind of get everything into the right place. Spin that. I think we're good, so it kind of sits nice and flat. Again, orientation of this is going to be going here. Okay, so I'm going to kind of sit nice and straight like so. And we're going to put our washer and a nut. And we're just going to tighten that real quick before we set this other one in, just so we don't have any wibbly wobbly going on, which we do. Okay. Okay. And that's pulled in nice. So now we can kind of like see the top part going up there. Okay, looks like we had some travel pieces here. And I'm just kind of wrapping these up into place. So it looks like these probably came out during shipping, but that's okay. They go right back into place. Okay, cool. All right, so this is gonna be your top piece. Not 100% sure of the orientation we're gonna have going on here. So that's going to go opposite the slide. That's going to go up. We need a part I. It looks like we have that little sandwich part. All right, so it looks like we got 65 and a 70, so there is a slightly one longer than the other, and then obviously the two nuts, which I'm not sure which are going to go yet, and then you need 6 washers. Oops. All right, so let me bring this down so I can show you the top view. All right, so this is going to be orientation of this top piece. So we're going to set it on top like so. And it kind of sandwiches in between here. And then we are going to get that set up. So we got our longer bolts, I believe is what we're going to need here. Other sandwich piece goes in like this. And then you'll kind of feel around for the hole. And then we'll thread it. And I think we're going to take this. Nope, we got it already. Okay. And again, we'll get that kind of situated there. And we'll get these bolts situated here. I think we're gonna have them go up through this piece. All right, so looking forward and on the top, that is how that is gonna look for you. So hopefully you got a good view of that. We'll get that situated like that. All right, so KB is gonna go on this side, like so. Okay, and then this other arm goes up on this side. Okay, so you can adjust those out. Okay, so this is going to be JA. It goes on this side. And this is going to be the orientation of that. So if you can kind of see. I'll give you some close-ups on this after we get everything mounted on. Okay. Just checking some fit here real quick. Okay, and this other side goes up like that. Hold the bushing down so that doesn't go out. Just kind of give you an idea to where everything's going to stop at. Right on the edge. Super easy to adjust. So I'm liking that so far. Pretty cool. Okay, so that's gonna be your smaller bolt. I'm bringing this one a little bit closer because this one's pretty important. So that is your smaller bolt, and then that is your big washer. So that will go on top. All right, check the tightness on that. So that looks pretty good. All right, next we're gonna put the handles in, but you need a 24 millimeter wrench. So it's a little large with the last two big nuts and the two big washers. That's gonna be for your handles. Okay, then this handle orientation, you're gonna have kind of aiming up that way. And then on this side, you're gonna put this up through. And that seems a little on the tighter side. Let me just check for some burrs. I don't see anything there. Rubber mallet I was telling you about before. Just kind of hold that. Okay. So it helped get that on. That bushing, we're going to put a washer and then that nut. Then we are going to crank that down. So it kind of bottoms out. You'll kind of feel when it stops. Then we'll go over to this side. Make sure we got the angle right. This one, quick little love tap. And then again, we'll put that big nut on the bottom. Okay, make sure you have some free movement on that. Okay, step 6 is going to be attaching a seat post. So that's going to be in the front here. So that's going to be part M. So that is that seat piece right there. And we're going to be putting the 2 last carriage bolts under here as well. So basically kind of exactly how we did the other piece before. All right, so that seat post goes over those 2 carriage bolts and it lays against the frame there. I'll give you some close-ups of everything at the end so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Okay, and then the next set of bolts going through. Set it this way. Get it down at the bottom. Really well. It's crazy. So you have 1 hole, 2 holes, kind of give you an idea of orientation. It looks like the 2 holes are going to go up front. Now slide down here. So that is your seat. Okay, next is going to be the pulleys. So we'll set them up. So it's going to be the 45 millimeter bolt, then a whole bunch of washers. So you got the 1 pulley, then you got the shorter bolt. There's only 3 of these left, so I mean 3 in total. And then you want to line this up. All right, I'm just putting them hand tight now because there might be some cabling situations I want to kind of like work through and get around. All right, so here's your cable. So 1 cable, so it makes it kind of easy. Let's get it untangled first. And then I'm going to route it, see if I can't route it through the pulley. Okay, so you can route it through the pulley so you can tighten the pulleys down. Wasn't sure, the directions didn't make that very clear. So let's get that kind of hanging down like that. And then these are going to be your 2 pulley areas. So you're going to have these 2 bolts right here that will be needed to tighten down after we get the pulleys in place. So if you can kind of see how I'm routing that through. The washer on this side. Okay. And again, hand tight until we get everything situated and set up the right way. Make sure your pulleys spin. All right, then let's tighten these up. Okay, that's good. Okay, looks even. Okay, so your pulley And cable system kind of runs through this pulley here. So I'll push that through. Then there's a hook right here. And then same thing on this side. Push the eyelet through, over the pulley, then hook on that. So that is how that situates on there. So it kind of floats up in the air a little bit. You'll get some tension when it's sitting down. But let's just give this a quick test and make sure everything is nice and smooth. And again, it'll be a lot smoother when you have weights on it. But I just want to make sure everything looks good and is connected properly. Then we're going to put the back pad on here. And it's going to be your 2 bolts that you have left over. Back pad is kind of uniform, so we can kind of like put the seam down at the bottom. I guess it'll be smarter. Get that lined up and hopefully get that hole going. Pad bolts are 14s. Now the seat pad, again 3-3, just match that up. And we'll put it over here, make life a little bit easier setting that up. Okay. Okay, and these sleeves are pretty easy to put on. So you can keep it like this and use like the 1-inch standard back in the day, or you can use these adapters to make it Olympic equivalent. And basically, so you're kind of putting this on. So let me give you a better view. So that is the Allen key. You're going to be tightening it up. I'm just going to slide it kind of out of the way underneath here. And then you want to put a little bit of tension on it so it doesn't turn on you. And then basically rinse, repeat for the other side. So pretty easy to do. Okay, so here we have both Olympic sleeves on. Gives you kind of an idea of the pulley system, how that is hooked up there. So when you're moving the arm, you get that kind of motion to it. That's how the seats adjust up and down. Again, you have a nice articulate movement on that. And then from this side, you can see how that moves. All right, so let me get it down onto the floor, put some weight on it, and let's see how it performs. Okay, so I have it set up on my garage floor, and we will do a couple exercises on here. And I got basically 50 pounds on here, so not a lot. So let's try it out. Okay, so keep in mind this is set up for like a home gym, a garage gym. So it doesn't have the amount of wingspan that you might have. So to give you a kind of example, I'm 5'8". So this does stretch out from here pretty good. And obviously when you want to start doing this, you want to make sure that you have your shoulders at the same level as your hands, or as close as you can. And again, this is highly adjustable with the seat and stuff. So, but that's about where I want it. So wingspan wise, this is great. But as you bring it in, it kind of closes up on you a little bit. It's nothing that is going to really deter you a little bit from doing a chest fly with this machine, but it's just something that I probably would have liked it to gone out a little bit further on that. So you can kind of compensate if you are taller, and you can kind of go like this, so you can get a really good squeeze on your pecs, so you'll get that nice deep valley in between them. So again, set up for a garage or home gym, but I love the way that you can get a really good contraction on this. And this weight's a little bit on the lighter side, but good enough to kind of get the job done. So where I really like this machine is when you are working your rear deltoids. So you're basically turning around, and you have a couple ways of doing that. And one is you can grab it from here. Oh, and you got to adjust your arms in. And it does give you a really good range, so you can close that in pretty good. And it snaps it in place. Make sure I'm not leaning on a mic, but basically, so if you're doing your rear deltoid from this type of position, you really get that really good back squeeze that you really can't get on anything at home other than a machine like this. This works like fantastic for that. You can also grab it on the handles like this to give yourself a little bit of a variation in the movement, and that really helps you squeeze and gives you a little bit of a variety on that. But again, it's nice and smooth. It's not jerky at all. And the fact that you can set up any position you want on this, it's great because you have a variety of starting points all the way around on that. And again, chest fly, I wish it would have had a little bit larger of a wingspan, I guess you want to call it, larger of a reach, but it's nothing that I think is going to deter your exercise. And if you're used to the commercial type models where you really can get a really good squeeze on the center of your chest, you can just change around the handhold position very easy, and it holds onto your forearm really nice. You can get that nice tight squeeze. So again, so far, absolutely love this thing. The fact that I can expand my home gym, my garage gym, and it is, you know, I mean, it's at a good point. Anyway, Brian from GarageMahal, thanks for watching, and absolutely be safe out there.